Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hazrat Moulana Abdool Haq one majlis where he mentions the reality of Hijrat. You talk of Hijrat, you go from one place to another, you make Hijrat. In other words, he's trying to show us what in reality is Hijrat. Everyone talk of Hijrat. When you listen to this majlis, you come to know the reality of Hijrat. One is Hijrat that's called the outside, the outward Hijrat. That is to leave your house and children and family, or go with your family to another place. That is an outward Hijrat. Like how, but the Sahaba Ikram are different. When they made Hijrat, they left the family, they left everything, they left the wealth, everything. That was their Hijrat. तो ये तो ज़ाहिरी हिजरत है, और सहाबा इकराम हिजरत के साथ मौसूफ भी कहते हैं। उन्होंने मक्का में तमाम घर बार दौलत छोड़कर मदीना तैयबा की हिजरत की। बट द रियलिटी ऑफ हिजरत इज अल्लाह की मना की हुई चीज को छोड़ दे। द रियलिटी ऑफ हिजरत इज व्हाट एवर अल्लाह ताला हैज टोल्ड यू नॉट टू डू, to leave that out is reality of Hijrat. If you can bring that into your life, then you're a muhajir. Everything that Allah Ta'ala told you to keep away from, whether you like it or you don't like it, but you leave it. What is those things which you like and leave is very easy. But those things which you not like to do, you find it difficult to leave and you leave that. All that includes yourself. That is called in reality. तो एक सूरत हिजरत है और दूसरी हिजरत है। अगर हकीकत हिजरत किसी ने नहीं तो सूरत में हिजरत नहीं किया। So if the person did not achieve the reality of hijrat himself, if he did not leave out those things Allah Ta'ala had made haram and kept away from those things, then he did not really make hijrat. Then he did not make it. The kamal of a person is that he leaves out all those things which Allah Ta'ala has made haram. He will not go near it at all. If you're forbidden to do those things, you keep away from it. Otherwise, no good. That is why 13 years in Makkah, the Sahaba Ikram nafs ki mukhalifat karte the. They went against the nafs for 13 years, the Sahaba Ikram. Everything against the nafs. If the nafs told them to commit a gunah, they will not do it. If the nafs tell them to hit someone, they will not do it. If the nafs tell them to take revenge on someone, they will not do it. If the nafs say them to become vulgar, they will not do it. If the nafs told them to become angry with someone, they will not become angry. Everything they were fighting all the time. The road to Allah Ta'ala, this is what the nafs told them to do something wrong, they will not do it. This is something the nafs to tell them to hit someone, they will not do it. If the nafs tell them to do something, to look at a person with a bad eye, they will not do that. The nafs to tell them to look at someone with jealousy, they will not do that. So just imagine, this is called Hijrat. For 13 years, the Sahaba Ikram, they fought with the nafs for 13 years in Makkah. Namaz did not even come into existence. The first 12 years, 13 years, namaz not to come. Allah Ta'ala did not even allow the Sahaba Ikram to go out in jihad. No one was allowed to go out in jihad. Everything was happening against them. So much of harm was taking place against them. The kuffar were causing so much harm to the Muslims, but they were not given permission to lift up their hands. They were not given permission to say anything, not a word. All the time, make jihad of your nafs. Go against your nafs all the time. You want to do something wrong, you will make sure that you go against your nafs, you will not do it. Preparing them to become that strong. You must become strong. That is what we call hijrat. That it's in your life, you don't know what is the meaning of a sin. You will not commit one sin too. You make jihad with the nafs 24 hours all the time. the Sahaba Ikram for 12 years, for 13 years, continuously, you must know, they fought with the nafs and they made sure they did not abide to nafs. Hazrat is saying, उसको छोड़ते रहे, जिस चीज का निकल गई। नफ्स की बुराइयों को छोड़ते रहने की हकीकत मुजाहिदा है। नफ्स की बुराई, all the bad things of the nafs, they made sure they took it out of them. That is called hijrat. That is reality, is it? That you fought with the nafs all the time. And all those what you're not supposed to do, you make sure you took it out of that nafs. Otherwise, what benefit is life? You must never let your nafs overtake you. That the Sahaba were very, very strong. और मुहाजिर बनते हैं। तो अब ये सूरी में मानी हिजरत पर तो नहीं। पहले सहाबा मुहाजिर मानी के तौर पर, तब हिजरत जिहाद सूरी शुरू हुआ। That's why they say that मेरे अहबाब अकराम अय्यो मुजाहिद भी है और मुजाहिद और जब नफ्स से जिहाद और नफ्स से हिजरत हो जाए, when you have made your jihad with your nafs all the time making jihad with your nafs, you're fighting with the nafs. Do you know something that every day of your life and every moment of your life you have to fight with nafs? You are faced with different situations. You are faced with different conditions. So many things the nafs will tell you do something against the law of Allah. The nafs will tell you put your eye in the wrong places. The nafs will tell you to say the wrong things. The nafs will tell you, especially when you are alone in a house and no one is there, that time will not become your biggest enemy. He overtakes you at that time. He tells you to do those things, commit those sins, where you become victim of it. And you commit those sins. So you have to be more careful in the time when you are alone. Because when you're people, you may do things just to keep them happy. Just to keep them happy. But when you're alone, and a person is with people, he may keep away from sins too. You will try your level best not to commit sins. They say that person is a pious person in the eyes of people. So what he'll do, because of that now he'll make sure he will not commit any kind of sins too. His eyes won't go to the wrong places. He will not even look at the TV too. He won't have a look at it. He'll try his level best to do it. That is in public only. But when he's alone, the nafs is so strong at that time, no one is looking. Do it now. Never mind, do it one time and then after make tawbah. Nafs is a ustad. He'll tell you, no man, do it. Do it one time, make tawbah. Remember, do not even follow that at all. The moment you follow nafs one time, never mind, but take it one time now. Take it one time. You don't have to do it again. I'll make tawbah, I'll make tawbah. The person got some bad habits in him. And he's got bad habits and he's weak. And he becomes so weak that he continues doing wrong things. And day after one, sometimes he makes a mind up, I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm not going to do it anymore. So what happens is, I'm not going to do it anymore. But when he's alone, he says, no one is there now. Never mind, do it one time. Do it one. Now the moment that thought comes, do it one time. And you abide to it, remember you have become the victim of it. It's not going to be the first, it will last. It will be all the time you're doing it. So do not go near it at all. When you make tawbah that you're not going to go near that sin, then you must make sure you don't go near it at all. The moment you go near it one more time, well, Shaitan will tell you, the nafs will tell you, man, do it, man. Who is looking at you now? And the nafs is the ustad. He'll tell you this much to do it one time only. And then you make tawbah, and then everything is forgotten. Then remember that is no more tawbah. It will continue all the time. You have to become so strong. You must make sure you have to fight it all the time. You have to fight it. For example, you got anger in you. You have to fight it all the time that anger will not come in the wrong places. Sometimes a person who got a lot of anger, he's been told that not to even use his anger in the right places too. Why? To control himself. The Shaykh will tell him, you got no right to get angry with anyone too. You got no right to advise anyone too. Why? Because of the anger that he has, so much anger in him. He'll be told you must keep silent. Now that nafs have to keep silent, it will be easy. Very, very difficult. So all these things, a jihad of a nafs is continuously 24 hours. That is what you call hijrat. Hijrat in reality that Sahaba Ikram made so strong that they had opportunity of killing the people to take revenge. Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam told them, you got no rights to lift up your hands You got no rights to look at anyone with anger. You got no rights to have arrogance in you, haughtiness, any of that kind. You must be completely humble and do not take revenge. For 13 years they made so much of jihad to that extent, they became so strong to them. What happened? We all know Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu. In a battlefield, when you the time when he had the opportunity of killing that person, when that person spat on his face, you could have killed him. He left him. The Jew asked him, told him, why did you leave me? That time you got the opportunity to kill me. Today if you and I, if someone have to spit on us, we haven't got the jihad or nafs. We know what we'll do, what the things will do. We'll cause so much harm to him. So many majlis you'll be sitting on. You'll be sitting in so many majlises. Yet the time when you face with these kind of situations, you'll be a loser. You'll fail. As Ali radiallahu ta'ala, when the person spat on his face, he just looked at him and left him. He says, what was the reason for you that you had the opportunity to kill me and you did not do that? He said, the time when I was fighting with you, I was fighting for Allah. I was fighting for Allah. But the moment you spat on me, immediately I became very angry. And the moment I got angry, I realized that now if I'm going to kill you, it's not because of Allah, it's because of revenge, because of me. That's why I left. And you accept Islam. You accept Islam. These incidents that are taking place in front of what we are listening to is for our own benefit. That we today, we get angry or we get our nafs overtakes us because of personal. Never for the sake of Allah. Never for the sake of Allah. तो हज़रत says कि जब नफ्स से जिहाद और नफ्स से हिजरत हो जाए, when you make jihad of the nafs, make jihad of the nafs, तो फिर बेफिक्र नहीं होना चाहिए. Do not become relaxed. That you know me, I got control of my nafs now, I don't have to worry anymore. I don't have to worry anymore, I got full control of myself. I don't have to do anything anymore. You know what, for so many years I did not take this thing. I did not take this, I didn't do this, I did not commit this sin. Oh, how many months now? 2 months gone now, 3 months gone. I did not take those things anymore. I'm not doing the bad things anymore. I am far from those bad things. You know, or this, whatever it may be. Do not get relaxed. Be on guard all the time. Be conscious all the time that you do not think now that because I did not take for this period of time, I will not become victim of it. Now I can relax. जैसे बेफिक्र मत होना, मगर बल्कि नफ्स के मुकाबले में कमर बस्ता रहना चाहिए. हज़रत says, नफ्स के मुकाबले में कमर बस्ता रहना चाहिए. Continuously, you must continuously go against your nafs, again and again and again and again. Do not let it lie down. Do not forget about it, but remember it all the time. It must be in your mind all the time. It must be that. Then only you will. दुश्मन कितना ही कमजोर हो, हज़रत says, your enemy can, no matter how weak he may be, उसको कवि जानो, उसको कवि. Always take him as strong. If you take someone to be strong, you will always prepare something. But if you take someone to be weak, what you do? You don't do anything about it. So your person, when it takes enough to be weak, he won't do anything about it. But if it takes enough to be his dushman, his enemy, and he says he's strong, he will make all kind of effort to make sure you will not do anything to be relaxed. You will always be on guard. You don't know when that nafs will overtake you. No, you will not. You don't know. It's unreal how the tables can turn. It's unreal how the table. कमजोर मत जानो. वो अपने दाव पर है. क्या ख्याल मत लाओ कि जो हो गया वो हो गया. हाँ ये मत ख्याल करो. वो अपने दाव पर है. Always realize that he's always trying to overtake me. My nafs will definitely overtake. 50 years to when a person, when he's got a horse and he's riding a horse, why does he hold the reins? He's got control of the horse for 50 years. That horse knows the master so well. He knows the master so well. But what is the reason that still the master, when he's riding the horse, he still holds the reins? For what for? He does not know when the horse will drop him down. Likewise, for 50 years or 100 years, you have control of your nafs. Please do not get an impression that you got control of. So whatever you do, you try a little bit to keep away from the wrongs. And any time your nafs tell you, never mind, take a try. One time more, it makes no difference. It will be not one time, it will be all the time. Allah Ta'ala, Father, very, very important this. Then Hazrat says that In the Masnavi Sharif, Moulana Abdool Haq Makada, he mentions about an incident of a person. He was a master in getting snakes, He was a master. He should get hold of the snakes. So somehow he got hold of a big snake, and he carried the snake. The snake was just like dead. So he thought that the snake was dead, so he picked it up and put it on his shoulder, and he went in the city and he put the snake down there. Now when the moment the snake was down, everyone came, what a big snake, but no life, it's dead snake. Everyone started surrounding the snake. The moment they started surrounding and the sun was coming out, but this snake, they hibernate, They inside, when they hibernate, you can't make them out. They look like dead snakes. So when it came out in the sun, and the sun began to now hit onto the snake, slowly the snakes started moving. The moment the snakes are moving, the people are running, and the person who caught the snake, he's running too. So Hazrat says, कि तमाशा देख रहे ये कांटे क्या हमला करेगा मखलूक जमा हो गए सूरज निकल कर अपनी now when the time the sun came out पर फैल गया and बस तो now the reality of the snake came out हरकत आ गई चू चू करके आती गई तो everyone started running and the person who caught the snake he was the first one to run हज़रत वाला फरमाया कि मौलाना रूम ने हिकायत बयान करके फरमाया कि नफ्स की मिसाल अजदे है. This is the example of the nafs, that the snake, it hibernates, it sits down, and after some time it wakes up. Likewise your nafs too. It will hibernate and sit down for some time, and you are getting very happy, I got control of a nafs. There's so many days I did not miss one fajr namaz too. So many days I did not miss one takbir ula too. So many days I did not put my eyes in the wrong places too. So many days I did not do this, commit this and commit that sin. Now when you're getting that in your head, so many days I not get angry also. Now the moment all these things coming, you're getting very happy about it, you're getting relaxed now. I don't think I must worry about it anymore. Do not ever think like that. But when God, you don't know when you slip away. You don't know when you slip away. This is what he's trying to say us. और मुर्दा नहीं हो गया, दबाव में आ गया, मरूब हो गया, मगलूब हो गया, क्योंकि उसकी फितरत शिर्क है. The habit of your nafs is to do bad. Remember one thing, the habit of your nafs is to do bad. He will never tell you to do good. Anything the nafs do, it does not allow you to do good, it do to do bad. So you must always be on guard. This is the most important thing. Always remember. Salik ko hamesha fikr chahiye. As they say, Salik, if you've taken the road to Allah Ta'ala, then you must always have this concern. The concern must be there. If you do not have concern, it's not a Salik. Concern of what? Are you stuck? बेफिक्र मत होना, फिक्र करना चाहिए कि अल्लाह ताला कुरान शरीफ में फरमाए कि या अय्युहल्लज़ीना अस्बिरू वसाबिरू वराबितू. In other words, even the enemies of yours too, you must make sure that you must be aware of them. You mustn't think that they are weaker than you, but you must think that they are stronger than you. When a moment you think that your enemies are stronger than you, what will you do? You'll make preparation all the time. You will make sure that you keep on guard all the time. But if you take your enemy to be weak, what happens? You do nothing about it. So your nafs must be of that kind that you must think he's a very big enemy of yours and he's very strong. So I must be on guard all the time. I must not lose myself and just relax. Be on guard. Mu'min, mujahid, वहाँ हौसला होना चाहिए. Says कि जिहाद, इस तरह जिहाद सूरी में जब दुश्मन अपने ज़ेर होने जाहिर करे, सुलह आ जाए, तो तुम सुलह पर जाओ अपने मुजाहिदीन पर. नफ्स को सरकश करने का वाक़या इस तरह नफ्स को सुलह करने को जब सर उठाए तब हज़रत वाला का बयान वाक़या हज़रत शिबली रहमतुल्लाह अलैह मुरीद खलीफा जिनका नफ्स मगलूब मरबूत है. शिबली रहमतुल्लाह want to eat halwa. Shiblin rahmatullahi alayhi want to eat halwa. You know sweet meats? Halwa. Now just imagine, now अपने दबाव पर बैठे तकाज़ा क्या है? हज़रत शिबली ने नफ्स से कहा, अरे कहाँ से हलवा खिलाऊं? Where am I going to get the money to give people for this? Where am I going to get the money to give you the sweet meats? मेरे पास पैसे नहीं है, कर्ज देना तो ठीक नहीं है. Teaching us the lesson that you haven't got something, you mustn't go out of your way. People today, when they haven't got the money, they go out of their way to do things because of nafs. And that's when all the problem takes place. Here in teaching a very big lesson that he wants to eat something, the nafs wants to eat something. When you have a desire for something to do, to eat, it does not mean that you have to eat it. If you don't have the means, you will not do it. Don't do the wrong things to keep your nafs happy. It's beyond your means, you not do it, you must not go near it too. Today people are going through so much of difficulties merely because of going, it's beyond their means that they're doing it just to fulfill their desires and nafs. This is the outcome of it. If you can't buy a house, who told you to buy a house? If you can't get that much, you cannot earn that much money, who told you to spend that much money? So you're putting yourself with difficulties all the time. Allah Ta'ala made it easy because of a nafs. No, that person got that kind of car, I must also buy the same car. I do not have the means of it. He's got a beautiful house, so I must also buy a house. The nafs is telling you, you cannot meet it, but because your nafs telling you, you are doing those things. So everything you are doing because your nafs is telling you to do, and thereafter what happens? You become a victim of that kind, you lose everything. You lose everything. So Shibli Rahmatullah told you, nafs, you want to eat sweet meat. I haven't got the money. I can't earn that money. I haven't got, what must I do? So he says, you know, आम मुनकर ये है कि लाइन बगिल कि ये मुनासिब नहीं कि अपने आप को जलील करे. On this, Hazrat is saying that Nabi Karim said that it is wrong for a mu'min to put himself into any kind of disgrace. It is wrong for a mu'min to put himself in any kind of disgrace. You know you cannot meet with certain things. You know you cannot do certain things. You're not supposed to do this. It is wrong for a mu'min to put himself in any kind of disgrace. However, किसी के खुशामद चावल सवाल करे तो जिल्लत करे. Now what happens? The time when he is now asking more, now he wants to eat the halwa. He said, okay, I'll do one thing. He went now, he got no money. He went to a farm. He told the farmer, now he's got a horse there, or the animal is now turning around to take water out. You know water? Right. So he said now to the person, take that animal out, I have to sit nothing. Now no one can do that, this is what only great people can do. The moment he was out, he sat, he was tired of the thing and he was taking water. It was right now, the whole day he did that. Maybe he read namaz on time, then again he said, the whole day he was doing that. Now you must know when the time he was so tired, very tired. Now he told them, give me my money. So the person gave him money for the whole day. He told him, now you are fit to eat this halwa. Now said, I don't want that kind of halwa. I don't want that. In other words, he put him in so much of stress, gave him so much of taklif. He fought with his nafs to that extent that nafs got tired too. He said, no, I don't want that. This is what it means, that you must be always guard of your nafs. You must not think that your condition is very, very good. You are very, very good. Now I must not worry about my nafs anymore. I must just sit aside, I've got everything. No, no. Never be at any time think like that, because you're never free from nafs. No one can be free from it. Malik ne und Hazrat Moulana ne तुम्हारा नफ्स हाथ छोड़ सामने खड़ा हो गया, हुजूर मुझे गलती हो गई, मेरा दाव. Now the nafs only saying, please forgive me for that. थोड़ी देर चलकर अब मकान. So this is what it is. Always remember that as far as possible, nafs के सामने बेदारी हिफाजत सरत की तरह. ये हजरत वाला ने हजरत शिबली रहमतुल्लाह अलैह के मुंतहा सुलूक साली के लिए इसलिए बयान फरमाया देखे, ए मुंतही बेदार रहना, फिक्र मत रहना, तुम मुहाजिर भी हो गए, मुहाजिर भी हो गए. This is talking of a person who has entered the suluk for so many years and became so strong. So many years, and for him this is a lesson that don't be under the impression that all the time jitni fatah aur ran ke baad sarat that you must remember that zaruri hai to nafs ke bil muqabil rafa sharat ke always be on guard of it. Your nafs is something you must be on guard all the time. It will just turn you away. मेरे करम फरमा मेहमान आप ही आप इसलिए आप मुजाहिद है. Hazrat is talking to our friends who are coming there. He says, you all are coming from so far, you are mujahid. You are मुहाजिर. जिसकी हकीकत आपको जिहाद हकीकी तारीफ से मालूम होगी, अल्लाह ताला हमें सही माने में मुहाजिर और मुजाहिद बना. Hazrat is saying now in reality Allah ताला will lead you in true sense a true muhajir and muhajir. That is what is called for. That today's lesson is what? Do not become or think at any time that you are free from that. It is so easy that a person become victim of it too. And at all times, zaruri hai ki to jo nafs ke muqabil rafa shar. At every time you must remember your biggest enemy is your nafs. Your biggest enemy is your nafs. Your nafs will always tell you to do those things, and do not keep your nafs happy. Always keep Allah Ta'ala happy. Allah Ta'ala happy. For some time you find nafs telling you that you got a headache now, you don't have to go to the namaz in the mosque. Now you must think to yourself, I only got a headache and I can't go to the mosque. When something big comes up, what happens? My headache is gone that time too. And I'm going to read namaz today. Sometimes the nafs will tell you that you know what, it's a very dangerous. Let's not go to the mosque, it's Fijr namaz or Isha namaz. But when you get a big customer coming 2 o'clock in the morning, that time you can go out of the house too and go meet all kind of clients too. At that time, where you got the himmah to do that? So a nafs is something you try to cause all kinds of tricks he tries with you to make sure that you become the victim. Never do that anytime. Nafs will tell you that, you know what, today no one is around, let me commit this sin. You must keep away from it. Nafs will tell you, let me put my eyes one time and look down again. Never mind, I look at it one time and go away. That one time you look at it, you will know the target is on. After it's targeted into your heart. The eyes is the most dangerous nafs. The sin of your nafs is the eyes. Once you put your eyes to somewhere wrong, it gets targeted to your heart. And once you get to heart, what happens? Thereafter it becomes most difficult to come out of it. Many people for years were making ibadah too. And one time only, just imagine that one guzur. For 30 years they were making ibadah in the mountains. And one day he heard some footstep of a woman. 30 years of ibadah, he heard the foot of the woman. He said, let me go towards it. Let me go towards it. And the moment he heard the footstep, he was going towards it. But you know Allah Ta'ala, for 30 years he made ibadah. Why Allah Ta'ala not just throw him away? Allah will not throw anyone away. The moment he's walking towards, and the moment he came out, 1 foot out of the cave, the voice came, 30 years of ibadah, this is the outcome. There to Allah Ta'ala held him. His nafs was taking him away, 30 years of ibadah. Today what happens? If someone wants to do something, he tells you, don't do it, you're still doing it. The thing tells you inside, don't do it, you are still doing it. You're still keeping your nafs happy. Tell you, don't do it, it's a sin, do not go near it. No, never mind, don't do it anymore. Here this person, 30 years of ibadat, he was so close to Allah Ta'ala. Every dua he should make, Allah accepted his dua. And now the moment he went there, but look at the outcome of that thing. The moment he went, his 1 foot was out of the mount of the cave, and the voice came, he stood same place. And what did he do? You must not do that. He cut his 1 leg. He cut the leg that was out of the cave, and he kept it there. When people ask him, why did you do that? He said, that leg took me towards the sin, I cannot keep it with me. And I kept it in front of me to remind me, this is the outcome of a sin that you committed. So we were not supposed to cut our leg. But this to show you how your nafs is, that do not get relaxed with the nafs. It'll take you away. It'll make you commit all kinds of sins too. So we make dua every day to Allah Ta'ala in the morning when you wake up. Oh Allah, do let us not become the victim of nafs. Oh Allah, protect us from the nafs. This is a dua every morning you have to make and ask Allah Ta'ala for help. Then inshallah Allah Ta'ala will keep away from it. Allah Ta'ala man can tawfiq us. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وصلى الله تعالى على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه